if she's not ready? We ask for too much of her sometimes.
I don't want to make her do anything she's not ready for either. But we all know she's the only one who can face him.
Is there anyone else here who has the power to do it? Nico, you're a badass blood witch. What about you?
I might not be packing as much firepower in the magic department as we're gonna need. Hate to say it, but she is more powerful than me. Like, way more powerful. Plus, she knows what we're dealing with firsthand. It's gotta be her.
What if she doesn't want to? We shouldn't make her.
Then one of us needs to convince her.
I'll speak to her. When the time is right,
If you think she's up to it.
we will see.
So, is it settled? Meeting over?
Yes, Robbie, you're excused. You can go back to playing video games.
Rad! Because I'm about this close to finally leveling up.
Bet you cannot do it before Chthon eats your controller.
Oh, you know what, Magic? You're on.
I never used to trust anyone unless they had a rough childhood.
Really?
Don't act so surprised. I'm capable of trusting people.
I meant, why did you feel that way?
Oh, I used to think people with easy childhoods were soft, that they'd blow over as soon as anything went wrong. I didn't hate them, but I barely saw them as human.
I have met plenty of strong people who had easy childhoods.
Same. That's part of what convinced me I was full of it. I still catch myself thinking those thoughts, but I've worked to ignore them. Truth is, I never had it easy and was jealous of those who did. Took me a while to figure that out. How about you? Not counting Ileana, your childhood was the roughest of the Midnight Suns. Do you find it harder to trust?
Maybe 3 centuries ago, but that is no longer how I see it.
You think dying put what matters into perspective?
Could be. Or maybe Nico's role in my resurrection gave me a bit of her optimism.
You're lucky if it did. She has enough to keep us going, but not so much to be annoying. I respect that. Okay, I didn't mind that.
Caretaker hardly spoke of him, but I like to imagine my father was a great hero whose spirit protected these woods. Remind me about the seal?
Now that you have the moon seal, seek out the glyph to place it in.
Whoa.
Hyppus was among the first of the Elder Gods born at the dawn of our world. And unfortunately for him, he was also the first among them to die.
How does an Elder God die?
He was consumed by another Elder God. In this case, his own brother, Set.
Lovely. This shall be a great help. I am impressed. time has come. You were too weak for this fight. Lilith herself could not best me. What makes you think you will fare any better? Get on my bad side.
By consuming Hyppus, Set absorbed his brother's power, but also triggered the downfall of the Elder Gods, as they turned on one another and became demons.
To mention your mother. Apparently she is promiscuous. Now that was something.
I mentioned during the last trial, with most of the Elder Gods corrupted, a tomb was born and sent to destroy them. When he was done, he released their energy back to the stars.
And now they want silence from above or cause for their intentions.
Who am I to speculate on their intentions? So far, I'd say things have worked out to your favor.
Some for the rest of us. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. They cannot possibly match your strength.
After this, you should be all the more prepared for whatever Lilith has planned in the coming days.
I am impressed. All who see feel my call. Welcome the light. Welcome assistance.
I'm sure Hyppus will be pleased. You've proven yourself more than capable.
The god's latest gift seems to be quite powerful. I have already removed a great deal of corruption afflicting the grounds nearby.
I've noticed. I take it that means the latest trial wasn't much of an obstacle for our legendary hunter and their faithful companion.
We were ready for what awaited us.
The power of renewal is indeed a remarkable thing, especially when facing such an insidious problem.
But how did this corruption come to spread across the grounds in the first place?
I mentioned before that Wanda had visions after absorbing the power of the moon seal at my altar. But it's obvious now I didn't truly understand the depths of what she was experiencing.
What do you think really happened here?
I've told you that Wanda wasn't a descendant of the blood. In truth, her magic was born in chaos, from the touch of the dark god Chthon himself. I fear this connection between them was even stronger than I imagined.
She cannot be blamed for something out of her control.
Of course not. Just look at the group we have working with us here. Everyone deserves a chance to prove who they really are.
It is done now, in any case. We can only move forward from here.
Renewing the grounds is already an important step forward for us.
Wanda's visions, were they part of her ties to Chthon? Do you know what it is she saw?
She described them like a dream. Broken, distorted images that she could only remember in passing. But you're right, Hunter. I believe now it was Chthon who came to her, his influence strengthened by the power of the seal she absorbed.
And the corruption on the grounds? This was his influence?
It seems almost too clear now. The corruption on the grounds returned just as Wanda's explorations reached their peak.
Was there nothing in her journal about this?
Maybe we've gotten ahead of her. I should return to the library and continue the translations. Come by tomorrow and I'll let you know if I've found anything new. You've almost retraced Wanda's steps, Hunter. Which means it's probably time I was honest with you. Things got a bit messy at this point. It was here that Wanda hit a wall, in the literal sense. The gates sealing off your mother's garden seemed all but impervious to any attempt we made at opening them.
You would not have given up that easily.
Of course not. Wanda was hesitant, but I was emboldened by just how close she had come to succeeding. I strongly encouraged her to keep trying. If I had only stopped to consider the risks. But no. With my guidance, she attempted to use the moon seal from Set's trial to force open the gate.
You were only trying to encourage Wanda's growth.
That may be, but there were other ways I could have helped her.
So what did happen?
Without the word of power, Set's blessing, Wanda couldn't control the energy within the seal. It responded like these things often do. It exploded.
But the gate did not open?
No, it didn't. And as an unfortunate side effect of the blast, I was killed.
That was the training accident with Wanda?
A surprisingly level-headed explanation from the poor girl, considering what she had just witnessed. I was still out of my senses, but that's a story for another time.
You died. Wanda was left traumatized, only to be blamed by Caretaker and left without anyone to support her.
I said things got messy. Perhaps I should have said heartbreaking. In either case, now you know the truth.
Thankfully, this is all behind us. Except for, well, you.
It's fine. I try to see this as a grand new adventure, where I can fly through walls. If you'd still like to move forward, you'll need to find the shards of the broken moon seal. If all goes well, I should be able to reform the seal.
I believe I have found one already.
Of course you have. There are 2 more fragments somewhere. Find them and bring them to me. I knew you'd recover the shards if you put your mind to it, but that was still faster than I expected. I'd better get to work then. I'm confident I can return the moon seal to its former glory, but I'll have to send you on another errand. I need a particular flower to serve as the reagent for this ritual. It shouldn't be too hard to find. It grows right in front of my old cabin. While you gather that, I'll make the rest of the preparations.
Good girl, Charlie. I have found the reagent.
So you have. Let's not waste any more time. For this to work, we'll need the elemental altar. Come with me. This is it, Hunter. Once I've reforged the seal, you can face the final trial. I'm sure Set is eagerly awaiting your arrival.
It has been a long road to reach this point.
Lucky for you, the ritual won't take more than a moment. I just need to say the magic words. Abracadabra. Just kidding, dear.
I am glad to know your situation did nothing to dampen your sense of humor.
Sarah is salty enough for the both of us. I like to keep things in balance. Now, let's get you a moon seal. I just hope Set doesn't mind a bit of refurbishment.
I will find out soon enough.
Just remember, Hunter, the answers we seek are almost within your grasp. Stay the course. Set's challenge will be the hardest. Are you ready?
I am ready. Where Wanda failed, I will succeed.
That's my Hunter. Good luck, dear.
Ominous indeed.
If you remember from the last trial, I told you that Hyppus was consumed by his brother, Set, who absorbed his power. It was this betrayal that showed the Elder Gods, including Chthon, the path towards their own corruption.
They cannot possibly match your strength. Your fate is sealed. While they focus on me.
I don't think we'll be seeing any Serpent Men, but in his heyday, Set created his own personal army, much like Lilith and her children. He seemed to have an unusual fascination with Earth's various reptile species.
Leave some for the rest of us. I am impressed. The light is on our side. Now that was something. not realize the trouble. Must really want me out of the picture.
If you believe everything in Overlord Set descended upon the Earth, he used the prevailing reptiles, dinosaurs, to create his physical form.
Welcome assistance. I will make this. Your mother abandons you. Feel my call. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. Persistence is irritating.
Unfortunately for those lumbering beasts, the ensuing battle lasted for thousands of years and drove them to extinction alongside their fallen admirers.
Favored by the Elder Gods. I am impressed. some for the rest of us. They cannot possibly match your strength. Your time has come. Once again, Lilith's servants fall. I see not much has changed among the world's fanatics.
I wouldn't go so far as to say Set is pleased, but I'm sure you've piqued his interest. Break the wall, Hunter. I will be right here. After.
Set regards no other. Sarah?
Of all the things you weren't expecting, finding me here had to be near the top of the list.
Have you been following me?
On the contrary, kiddo, I think it's you that's been following in my footsteps. Speaking of which, have you been enjoying the trials? I'm not sure how you found your way down that path, but you've obviously impressed the gods, just like your mother and I did.
You are being much calmer than I expected about all this.
You aren't the first member of your family to sneak away and attempt the trials. I remember raising more than a few eyebrows on my run.
This from the favored daughter of Ashtar?
I always respected Ashtar, especially compared to some of her siblings.
And my mother?
I think she saw something of herself in Autumn, but she was never one to flatter the gods.
She seems to have no issue kneeling to Chthon.
Is that really what you believe, Hunter?
I cannot say.
At least you've kept an open mind. I'm not sure I would have.
I have tried to remain neutral until I know more.
If you've come this far, then there's really no point in hiding it anymore.
This place, sealed and hidden away beneath my mother's garden, this was you again. Something else you wanted to lock away.
Would you believe it's because I've been a stubborn old woman for far too many centuries?
Yes.
This may be difficult to understand given what you've been told, how you were raised. But your mother isn't the bastion of evil the world knows her to be.
Yes, I know she was not the mother of demons when she was with my father.
There's more to it than that. I told you of her work to find a cure for his illness. There was nothing she could do, and when he passed, she accepted his fate. But then, the corruption came for you.
I was sick? I do not remember that at all.
I'm not surprised, given the cure. You were so young, so vulnerable. Lilith was inconsolable. If she had been desperate to heal your father, she was now completely unhinged when it came to curing you.
But she did find a way.
We had thought to bury it in this place forever, safe from not just the greedy eyes of petty men like Shaw, but from ourselves.
The Darkhold.
Yes, and sensing your mother's desperation, the damn thing called out to her. There within its pages, Lilith found a way to protect her child. Straight from the Great Shadow himself, Chthon. And as payment, she pledged her eternal devotion to him, reborn as the Mother of Demons.
She gave herself to Chthon for me?
You were her only child, and she loved you more than anything else in this world. In her mind, it was no sacrifice at all. You were all that mattered.
And you still let me believe she was a monster?
For your protection, I only let you see her as she is now.
But what she became...
What she became, I barely recognized. She may have been your mother, but there was no way she could be your mother ever again.
And so you cast her out?
She was weakened from the transition. Some part of her soul still struggling with the corruption infecting her, I suppose. I knew I would only have the moment, and so I struck, drove her from the Abbey. From you. It was the only way I could protect you. In my mind and in my heart, I believed that the Lilith I knew would have done the same.
But then she came back.
Yes, it took her years, but she finally returned. Of course, by then, she had become something far different. The rest, as you know, is history. Until now. I thought by sealing this place, by avoiding the truth, that it would somehow make all of this easier. But I also knew someday we would have this conversation.
You were trying to protect me, as you always do.
You've made this easier on me than it should be, kiddo. But I can't say I'm not glad that you still believe in me.
We can only move forward from here. We have spent enough time wading through the past.
You'll get no argument from me there.
I hadn't intended on eavesdropping, dear, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation with Sarah.
Did you know about my mother?
Sarah was never any more forthcoming about Lilith with me than she has been with you. She must have felt it was safer to keep both of us in the dark.
At the cost of a great deal of pain and suffering.
You don't have to tell me, dear. Had I known what Sarah was hiding, maybe I wouldn't have pushed Wanda as hard as I did.
And to say nothing of what this did to you.
It may sound ridiculous, but if someone had to end up this way, I'm glad it was me. Can you imagine what a nightmare Sarah would be as a poltergeist?
That is true. We may have had another terror stalking the grounds had things gone differently.
And despite everything, I have to say, I'm glad we were able to spend this bit of extra time together, Hunter.
I enjoyed it too, Agatha.
I'm glad, dear. But there are still more secrets to discover, if you're interested.
More still? How will I know where to find them?
Oh, I'd say some combination of dumb luck and persistence? But in all seriousness, with Set's blessing, you'll be able to break down all sorts of things, I imagine. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Just have fun, dear.